We are on 16.2, the second video. Let's read this question. Joey won the 57th Daytona 500 in February. If he paid back a $6,500 loan with $26 in interest at 8%, what was the time of the loan? Assume 360 days, so it's ordinary interest. Let's fill out our circle. We have $26 in interest. Our principal is $6,500. Our rate is 8%, and we are looking for the time. Now, I'll explain how to convert this once we get there. Time. We're looking for the time. Remember, in the simple interest formula, time is in years. I equals PRT, and time in years. Let's take the 26. We divide it by 6,500 times 0.08. We're going to write our rate in decimal form. When you calculate this, you get T equals 0.05. Now this time we didn't have a bunch of decimals going across the screen. We are going to calculate this to the number of days for this loan. We're going to multiply it by 360. And we end up with 18 days. And we multiply by 360 because we're using a 360-day year. And so this was just an 18-day loan. I believe you saw when I went to the next screen it was blank, and so I saved it and got it back out of it and back in. That seems to be my workaround for the silly things that happen sometimes. Lucky Champ owes $304.11 interest on a 7% loan he took out on his March 17th birthday to upgrade an oven in his Irish restaurant Lucky's Pub and Grub. The loan is due on September 17th. What is the principal? Assume ordinary interest. The first thing that we have to do is figure out how many days it is from March 17th to September 17th. And let's use 2021. When you put that on your calculator, remember using your date function, and you're going to compute DBD. You will find it is 184 days. Now I can fill out my circle. So 304.11. I'm looking for the amount of principal, knowing the other three parts. The other three parts to the formula, I'm missing one part. It's 7% in 184 days out of 360 days. My calculation then to find the principal will be this: 304.11 divided by 0.07 times 184 divided by 360. Close your parentheses, push your equal key, and you'll find that your principal is $8,499.97. Always be careful when you're rounding that you don't mess that up, because when you're off by a penny or something, you may miss it whenever you're on Connect. Here's our next question. Lance went to his bank to find out how long it will take for $1,000 to amount to $1,800 at 11% simple interest. Can you solve Lance's problem? Round time in years to the nearest tenth. So when we calculate this one, our time is actually going to be in years already. Now, it doesn't give us the amount of interest, but it does. Right? We can find it by taking the 1,800 and subtracting 1,000. We see that we're going to get interest amount of $800. So we're trying to earn $800 on this by putting this money in the bank. And then we've got the amount of principal is $1,000. So that's what it has to earn, that $800 with the 11% interest amount. Interest rate, not amount. Let's call it a rate. Our time then, to find our time, we take 800 divided by, remember we always use that division bar that runs right here. Parentheses around everything on the underneath on our circle. We put the parentheses so that we can calculate this all in one nice calculation. Times the interest rate, close our parentheses and push the equal key. When you get this calculated on your calculator, it will say 7.272727. It goes across your screen. But notice it told us to round to the nearest tenth of a year. So our time is 7.3 years. Now, I personally think these problems are fun, but I know that you guys, you might not like math like I like math. I mean, obviously I should like math a lot, right? Because I'm teaching math, and I do. But I'm hoping that some of you will enjoy this because it is kind of interesting how this works. And basically you're just using a formula, the same kind of calculations each time. And I think you might find some fun in it. Oakwood Plowing Company purchased 2 new plows for the upcoming winter. In 250 days, Oakwood must make a single payment of $21,200 to pay for the plows. As of today, Oakwood has $20,000. If Oakwood puts the money in a bank today, what rate of interest will it need to pay off the plows in 250 days? So they need to earn this amount of interest. We're going to take the $21,200 and subtract the $20,000 that they have. They need to earn $1,200 in interest. So that's what you get when you subtract. The principal amount is the $20,000. So if you're investing that into an account, in this case for 250 days, because that's when they need to make the payment for the plows, and we're looking for the rate. So let's set this up. Our rate then will be $1,200 divided by, let's put this in parentheses underneath that division bar on our circle, $20,000 times 250 divided by 360, close our parentheses, and then the equals, right? Push your equals key. That's what I'm trying to say. Then our rate will be 0.0864, 8.64%. That is the amount or the interest rate that he needs to earn the $1,200 in 250 days. Number 9. Here's our last problem for this lesson. Evander Holyfield, the champion boxer who had part of his ear bitten off by Mike Tyson, made $250 million during his boxing career, but declared bankruptcy because of poor financial choices. Now, I find that rather sad. None of us will probably ever know what that's like to have that kind of money. At least I know I'm not. I won't know. His July interest at 15% was $155. What was Evander's principal at the beginning of August? Assume 360 days. So we're on the ordinary interest again. The interest amount is $155. And we're looking for the principal, right? That's the part we don't know. The rate is 15%, pretty high interest rate. And then the number of the July interest. It doesn't tell us the number of days, but July has 31 days, so we're going to use 31. And this is something that, oh gosh, this silly thing. Let me get back in there. I lost my, marker things over on the side. I don't think you can really see that, but sorry about the in and out thing. So 31 out of 360 because July has 31 days, and that's all they told you about the time, and that we're using a 360-day year. And then we're going to set it up. So principal is what we're looking for, and that's 155 for the interest divided by our interest rate of 15% in decimal form times 31 days divided by 360. Close our parenthesis, push the equals key. This is all very important. So I keep saying the same things over and over, but to get these calculated correctly, you have to know how to put them on your calculator. And even though you can write some of this down if you want to, I mean, it would be okay if you did, but it's just really nice when you can just calculate one thing, you write it out, here's what I'm doing, put it on your calculator, and you get your answer, in this case of $12,000. Okay, so hopefully you realized why I was using the 31 days, because it just told us July, right? The interest amount was for July. That is it for this lesson, and we have one more section for chapter 16 about partial payments. A lot of times that's the hardest one for students, so you want to be sure and practice that one plenty. Bye everyone.